Hello and welcome to another video. So we have an Aegis deck which I've been playtesting for quite a while. I did an earlier video on this deck for basically testing a Haven style deck. I don't think too much has changed at all. I think this deck is nearly identical except for Test of Strength. I think it's the only other thing I've teched in, which is coming quite handy. This deck isn't too crazy. I'm only running double Cyclone. You could probably run triple, but I find doubles is just fine. One Odin just as a tech in Banish, just in case. Bahamut for a major board clear, which combos nicely with Argus. Plenty of good healing options. A nice way to pull the amulets, which you have got Test of Strength, Tribunal, and Sacred Plea. So you have draw, clear, and defense. Along with some wards, a little more healing, plenty of banishment, and board clears. Pretty much how you want to use this deck. So, knowing my luck, I'm going to have a couple of terrible games with this deck. You just watch, that'll be just my luck. But overall, I have played 53 total games with this deck, have a 60% win rate with 32 wins and 21 losses. So I must say, 60% win rate with this deck now, that's pretty good, especially in an AA2 meta. That's sitting quite nicely. Alright, so we'll hold the ancient line because ancient line is not bad. Doing both of them isn't that great, unfortunately. We can easily use Black Inscription to banish something on board, which is exactly what you want to use it for. You've also got Priest, which is a good banish. Going first isn't exactly that favorable though, so. Alright, front lines. Okay, so we may be looking at our Frog deck, which I haven't had much playtesting against because I've barely come up against it. So I can't give a very clear explanation on how to beat this out really, so. I'm just going to aim for control. Main aim with this deck is just to take the lead with the control style. This deck has pushed me from about 3,000 points to 700 points at the moment. Quite easily. Nice. Ancient line is really actually solid, so might just play the Priest just in case. Since we're going to use the evolve on the Ancient line anyway, getting the Priest out isn't a big worry because probably not going to evolve that unless necessary. So unless they plan on trading here, it's always possible. I mean, they might. We should be okay. But it looks like they're just going to hit face 4-5, which is perfectly fine. It does mean that we can't clear the Frog, which is going to make things a lot more difficult. Trying to think of a good way to buy time. We literally only have to buy one turn. So if we can buy this one turn, this is difficult for me because I haven't played against many Frog decks. So this matchup isn't exactly that well known to me, unfortunately. Which is interesting because it's going to show a weird perspective of this deck. But we can play the Ancient line hopefully next turn. If they do decide to trade here. If they don't decide to trade, we'll probably just drop Decree, clear the board off. I'm just hoping we can hold out long enough. That's going to be the problem here. Now they're aiming for free evolves, which, okay, that's free evolves. Can't go wrong there. And with the way that is, we're going to have to play Decree, which is sad, but kind of the only way to deal with this at the moment. Unless we draw into something else. So. Alright, we'll limit their board then. Albert's a huge problem, so if we do see that get dropped, we might be in trouble. That on the other hand isn't that bad. I mean, it's cleared by Ancient Line, which is what you want. Actually, it's easily cleared by Priest, so we might actually go that way. Then we'll just set up more cards, hopefully. If we can buy enough time, we should be right. The only problem now is I haven't really drawn into much healing, so if Unica dies here, we might be in trouble. And like I said, an Albert drop will really stuff us over, so we kind of need a Test of Strength or something just to hold out. It's going to be a close game, depending on their hand. If they have all rushes and stuff, or storms, we could be screwed. So I'm a little worried about that. But hopefully we'll be okay. The worst card to hit. By far the worst card to hit here. This is probably going to cost me the game, but I'm going to take the chance here. I mean, I have lethal on board. They probably will trade. If they trade, it means I do probably survive another turn, which is what I want. I really wish I had drawn Test of Strength. I could have easily set up Aegis, which would have been perfect. Unfortunately, I didn't get Test of Strength. So, we've got to work with what we've got currently. Alright. That's not bad, seeing the knight come out.
It all ends here.
Depending on where this goes, we may be okay. Alright. That's not good. Cyclone is one turn off being played. You have to be... With only 4 health left, don't really have a choice but to hopefully set up a defensive. Still dead to Albert now I think about it, so that probably isn't going to make a big difference. But it does give me a chance, so why not take it? Just in case. Okay, that is actually a worry. A Hermit is my only heavy counter here. I've got 3 draws to get it, so there we go. That's huge. So as long as they don't draw into a storm, I should be able to win off this. Let's just hope. I knew this game would be close, but how close? Alright, what do you got? Nothing? Yep, there we go. Oh, geez. A game like that is kind of worrying sometimes because you get very close to being dead. There probably was some better plays I could make there, and unfortunately I just didn't do that. But we definitely tried. So we'll go one more and we'll see how we go. We may have a loss, but who knows. I'm actually probably due for a loss. I think I'm at like 8 wins or something, which is usually where this deck crumbles for me. You know, I get to 8 wins and then just lose. But that's life. So as always, the deck list for this deck will be in the description. If you do find you're enjoying this deck, do hit that like button. It really shows your support. You can also check out the Shadow Nexus stuff. They are uploading more regularly. They are doing tournaments. You know, they're doing a bit of everything, which is good to see. And you can also check out my Twitter, which is also in the description, and I stream quite regular with that schedule also being in the description. So if you haven't, please do check the description. I mean, that's where all the info is. I occasionally get questions that can be answered just by looking at the description alone. So please guys, do check that out. It really helps. Having Aegis isn't that bad, I guess. Means at least I can guarantee I have it. Really wish I had a perfect turn 1 though. The perfect turn 1 is to have draw. But since it doesn't look like they got it either, I might be okay. Depends on what deck I'm coming up against. But they did go second, which means we should be able to drop Aegis first. So as long as we can control the board up until that point, we should be okay. And of course I draw Sacred Plea. At least that's okay. I mean, I can play Priestess next turn and drop Sacred Plea and work from there, which is good. We've already got a board clear, which we're gonna need now, unfortunately. Alright. We've drawn out most of our draw power, which is good. I mean, we can draw into a lot more things from here. Test of Strength would be an amazing one, especially with Aegis. It's just a great combo, especially when you're coming up against another Haven. You can use it really effectively. Okay. Don't really have a way around this, unfortunately. But we can start to at least set up against them. Which is fine. 6, Decree. It's not a bad clear. Not really an option I want to use, so we may just have to hold off. It may take an evolve here. Would actually be pretty okay for me. Have to wait and see. Didn't take an evolve. Okay. That's good. I don't have to worry about that. Return. So, the decree is going to be huge for turn 7, turn 8. We're just going to have to wait and see. I mean, we've got more draw power, so turn 7 may end up being something else. Completely fine. I mean, we can just set up. I would really love to draw a Test of Strength to play in turn 8. That way I can just play it and then drop Aegis and not have to worry about really being demolished, which is nice. And we can also drop Bahamut turn 10, so we can follow up with a full board clear, which is what we need against this deck. Since we got both, we'll take it. Not gonna hurt. I mean, we've got enough board clears now. We're running both Argus. So, turn 9, you know, it's gonna be crazy no matter what happens here. What are we gonna see happen? Another Sacred? Okay. We're gonna fill up our hand as they're setting up for a huge Bahamut clear, which is awesome. I can't really go wrong with that. The only unfortunate part now is I don't really have any other play. I mean, what do I do here other than maybe drop a Priest? Get off the board? Set up more draw power for later? Yes? I'm trying to come up with anything that will actually be super effective. Alright. So we're actually set now. I mean, with what we have on board and what they have, they're either going to clear the board and I'm just going to drop Aegis for free, or we're going to be able to trade with whatever they drop and we get Aegis for free. So, which is all fine with me. I mean, can't go wrong with that. And then we drop Bahamut for a full clear. And now we've drawn Test of Strength. Wow. So this is what this deck's good at. If you can stall out and last, especially against a mirror, as long as you're dropping it first, usually you win. I mean, from here out, what do they do? Aegis is unaffected by Guardian Sun, so that's not going to help them. Bahamut's a full clear on their board. So this is actually pretty fine here for me. I mean, I get rid of 2 Guardian Suns, I get to draw. They do get to draw, but what difference is that going to make overall? I can drop another Decree to clear everything off, and my only real risk would be some crazy other play, but I'm not really too worried. That'll be game. Obviously they don't know how this works, or they're just being funny. Alright, so this deck is great. I do recommend playing it if you're struggling. You can have a lot of success with it. It can take a little bit to get your head around exactly where you should make plays, but overall it's not too bad. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, hit that like button, subscribe. You can check out all the links in the description, everything else that you'll need, and I'll catch you guys next time. See ya.